have been going way up. I wanted to know your thoughts on why you think that is, what factors go into that.
I think because there's too many hoes in the world.
What is up, guys?
There we go.
Welcome back to the podcast, Mukbang Edition. We're going to be eating some pizza. I'll snag a piece as well. It's been like a little bit since we've caught up. So, how have you been?
Dad's been chilling. I accidentally took your napkin.
Oh, it's all good.
There you go.
Appreciate it, man.
I've been good, man. Just been working.
Work, the usual.
Mm-hmm. Summer camp just ended up for the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And now I finally just get my nice slow schedule back. So it's pretty good.
Very nice, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
The speaking of kind of things upcoming, things that we're involved in, we're looking at apartments right now. That process has been interesting so far.
Nothing's really happened.
Yeah.
I mean,
dude, that you make a great point, honestly.
Honestly, you could probably hear my chewing. But we've looked into it. We haven't really been able to look at many places because every place requires like an appointment, and we're so busy that it's just hard to kind of find that good time for us both to be able to go look.
Yeah. Honestly, like probably after I get back from my trip coming up, we'll probably have a little bit more flexibility.
Yeah, to be able to
more time to do that.
Look, we'll have to really double down. When does your lease end?
My lease ends the very last day of August this month.
Okay.
So I have till the 31st to really
really
worry about any of that stuff. But
yeah, I mean, yeah. We'll get a new apartment. We're looking for an apartment that has kind of more of a area for us to set up our podcast and kind of have it up permanently without having to tear down and put back up every single time. Because I mean, even though it's not that much, it's kind of annoying a little bit.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's going to be nice to have that set up for sure. Also, that month of September is going to be very interesting for me. I'm going to be all over the place. I'm going to be in College Station. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be working. I'm going to be driving. But once we get through that month, then it'll be probably smooth sailing with the podcast, with just making videos. We'll be able to make maybe like a little bit more than we are right now. So that'll be nice. It'll
be easier with us in the same household. And so I'm excited for that.
Dude, it's going to be fun. Speaking of apartments as well, so Sam is looking at moving into like a apartment, trying to get close to downtown.
Oh my gosh!
So yeah,
that's going to be so expensive.
I know. I told him that too, but he's looking for some spots. There's one place he was mentioning as a possibility. Trinity, right?
Yeah. Is it that same apartment complex?
I think same apartment complex. Trinity has a friend that we hang out with a lot. I'm not going to say any names with that, but he might be moving in with somebody that knows Trinity. Oh, okay. Just until he can find his own spot, just to like crash for a few months, which I thought was really funny. You
gotta do what you gotta do.
But yeah, I mean, hopefully he finds a cool spot that works for him, and then.
I mean, you're the one that's gonna crash on my couch for like a month and a half.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, that is true. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're same spot.
Same kind of thing. But yeah, with kind of what I wanted to talk about today, is we've talked about this in the past when it comes to just relationships and marriages and stuff. Divorce rates have been going way up. I wanted to know your thoughts on why you think that is, what factors go into that.
I think because there's too many hoes in the world.
Expand on that.
There's too many hoes, man. Both on the men.
So you're blaming the divorce rates on the hoes?
On both men and women's side, dude. No one knows how to commit anymore.
Oh, you're making a good point. Yeah.
They make a commitment, they get bored, and then they go sleep with someone else or date someone else.
You think people,
and they cheat, and then that just leads to divorces. I mean, that's a really big thing right now.
What do you think about the effects of social media on it? Because if you think about it, kids' attention spans are getting worse and worse with the iPads and with parents shoving screens into their kids' faces. If attention spans are getting less and less, wouldn't you expect that the divorce rates, the lack of what's it called, just like what you just said, the commitment, you get bored fast, right?
I personally don't think that social media has anything to do with
technology,
divorce rates, and just technology other than, maybe it's a way to get caught. That's probably about it. I don't really think that attention span really matters for divorce rates. I think it's just the fact that you have to think about it this way, right? The way that we have evolved into how relationships are based off of how they were with our parents.
Yeah.
Was you grow up, you get married relatively young, and you start a family, you raise that family. Usually it's the husband that is working, the mom or the wife is the one staying at home with the kids. It's a very kind of cliche classical family style. And a lot of people too, and maybe not a lot, but the number of people waiting to get married before having sex was a lot higher of a number.
That's true.
As it was before, as it is now.
Also, I feel like religion played a big factor.
Oh, and then religion, yeah, big time. The Christians and all that. But yeah, and I think that because people were waiting until marriage, it really solidified that relationship, and that's the thing with everybody is usually the first person that you ever sleep with, you become very attached to that person.
Because that's how it's supposed to be.
That's how it's really supposed to be, by standards. But you become very attached, and so it's very hard to kind of separate yourself. But now with people just sleeping with anybody every other second, right? Every other night there's someone new. In a lot of people's lives nowadays.
I also think intentions are a little bit like people aren't looking for a relationship to be something where, I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people are looking for relationships that are just fun, flings, all the way into their 30s, 40s, 50s. And then before you know it, it's like you weren't looking for a lifelong partner, And so...
I think too that relationships used to be about fighting through the tough times and learning to make things work, fixing things, right? Something's broke, you fix it.
Understanding that relationship's going to have downs as well.
Exactly. Nowadays, when there are downs in a relationship, no one's willing to fix anything. They're just like, well, this is over and let me go start over with someone new.
It's so easy to do that too compared to sticking around.
Oh yeah. Because sticking around, I mean, back then, even the 90s, early 2000s, there weren't really cell phones. There wasn't really a way to communicate besides just landlines, right? Again, I guess social media is a way to meet people.
That's what I don't
think it's more the attention span. I think it's more of it just gives an extra way of communicating.
An easier connection to another person.
It's a lot easier to connect to other people, with the technology that we have. So I can see that being kind of a reason for divorce, but I wouldn't say attention span wise.
Really? You don't think the attention span from somebody 100 years ago to now has gotten lower?
I think the attention span,
the ability to be able to sit in a room and do absolutely nothing. Somebody from our generation would be definitely more jittery, more what's it called, ADHD than somebody 100 years ago. And I think the ability to a lot of people nowadays, because sticking with somebody for that long period of time is kind of, I feel like people struggle with that now compared to 100 years ago because of, I think attention span does play a factor in my personal opinion because of that.
I mean, you have to look at attention span I wouldn't really say attention span. I would say people just get bored.
And that's the same thing, though.
Is it though? Right?
You get bored quicker with less attention span. Does that make sense?
I wouldn't say bored. I mean, because losing interest in something is different than being bored. It's more of loss of interest, right? I could be watching a TV show and I could just...
But people are losing interest quicker because of their attention spans lower. It's the same thing.
I mean, yeah, because like I could be watching a TV show all day on my couch and I can be bored, but I can still be... I'm just
like, people are on TikTok scrolling, you know?
But if you're scrolling, are you really... Are you bored? It depends on how you're looking at TikTok. All right. Are you on TikTok because you have nothing to do? Or are you on TikTok just because you're interested in what's popular?
I'm saying for the content itself. So if you're looking on TikTok, a lot of people are watching these 7 to 10 second videos and they don't even finish it and they scroll to the next one because of their lack of attention. Their attention span's like, okay, I don't like this, next. I don't like this, next. It's the same exact thing that's happening in relationships nowadays. Okay, this person doesn't meet what I want right now, so next kind of mindset.
So again, right? I think there's a difference between lack of interest and attention span, because I think attention span is being like, oh, I don't want to wait to see what happens at the end. Lack of interest is this bores me.
Just like in general from the very beginning.
Just in general from the very beginning. Lack of interest is this bores me. Swipe up, right? Can go to the next one. But attention span is like when they say, you know, like I think a great example is in.
So you're saying all relationships that end, they weren't about them from the very beginning.
I think there's some form of
inner issue, kind of
inner issue, yeah, and like that lack of interest can build up. It can be very, very tiny, because you have to think about it, right? A relationship is, you don't like everything about a person. Let's be honest, right? You like a lot of things about that person. Exactly. And so you have on the scale, it's interest, all the interest you have in that person versus everything you don't really care about, right? So there's always a lack of interest in somebody, okay? Every relationship has some form of lack of interest. And then over time, you know, it either stays that way, right? But that scale always shifts. And I think once finally, when that interest and lack of interest even out, that's that testing point. That's where it's just like, is this going to work? Can we fight through this? But the second that lack of interest overcomes the amount of interest, then the relationship's done. So it's really just a scale.
Yeah.
And so like, I don't think it's the attention span of someone, because again, like I said, the lack of interest is, I don't want to, you know, I'm bored. I'm just bored. All right. Attention span is you just don't have the patience to get to the end. All right. And
I guess we just had different,
mindsets or
definitions of attention span.
Yeah. That's true too.
I think when I was saying attention span, what you described as lack of interest was the same thing I was thinking of. So I might have had a bad definition.
A great example is all these like YouTube videos where it's just like, stay tuned to the end to find out, you know, what happens. And also, by the way, guys, stay tuned to the end, because I'm going to open up this package.
Yes, we have
so
cool package.
You know, and it's like a 20-minute video, right? You have to really be interested in that topic to watch that whole 20-minute video, right? Because you start watching and you're just like, you know what, this isn't worth it. I'm bored. And it's not that my attention span is just low, but do I really want to commit 20 minutes just to find out this?
It's also like you're weighing, like, I could be doing 20 minutes of this or 20 minutes of this, so you're competing with so many different things,
and that's what leads to relationships too, where it's just like, it's a lack of interest.
It's like, why would I be with somebody where it's like this when I could be with somebody that's like this,
exactly. And so that's where that time shift that shift kind of, you know, goes up and down.
That makes a lot of sense.
Again, bringing it all the way back to divorce rates, right? You know, just kind of seeing that, especially nowadays, where we were talking about like how you would find someone, you know, you marry them, then you would, what is it, like consummate the marriage or whatever it's called, where you know you have sex after the first, you know, after the wedding day. And nowadays, I mean,
people are
doing sleeping with
first date.
I know they're putting out on the first date, right? I mean, I don't really know the average number, but before anyone gets married, I mean, they've probably slept with at least a handful of people. And
a lot of it is culture too.
So then it gives, and then it gives you that that understanding of, if you've slept with many people, you're just like, it gives you the understanding that there are other possibilities out there, right? And so then if you marry someone and then you get bored of them, you're just like, you pass especially the more you sleep with. You're
training your brain to kind of like be used to the leaving and going to the next thing.
Exactly. And so then they get married.
Kind of like an addiction almost?
I wouldn't really think it's addiction. I think it'd be just more of a habit over an addiction.
Well, I guess it's not an addiction, but it's like, it's more of addiction than only being with one.
Yeah, the same characteristics.
You're building a pattern.
Yeah.
You're building that pattern to then lead to that.
It's like, like you say, like you have a habit of, sleeping with someone and then not calling them just to go sleep with someone else, right? And it's just a pattern.
I hate when I do that.
I'd say it's more of a pattern.
So annoying.
I would say it's more of a pattern more than what did we say before?
Addiction.
An addiction, because a pattern.
It can lead to an addiction, but it can lead to one.
Yeah, but it's more of a pattern.
Yeah.
Kind of just like a way that you live your life. And so then when you got to break that pattern, things get tough.
Yeah.
You
might be able to leading to an addiction, though.
Oh my goodness, we're talking about this now.
Pokemon. Okay, guys, he doesn't have an addiction. I've just been joking about that. But we do have a really cool package that came in, or he had a cool package that came into the mail.
I do have a cool package. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But we want to show you guys his package that we will be revealing on the podcast. No. It's right here. It's right
here. Okay. There's the wrong one. All right, guys. In the last podcast, we talked about.
Did you say it was the wrong one? I just registered. Sorry.
In the podcast last week, we talked about kind of my addiction, getting back into trading Pokemon cards, and I ordered a mystery box from this company called Iconic. They do a lot of great stuff. They have a lot of great products and merchandise. And so I wanted to order something. This is called the subscription box. So basically, you spend a certain amount of money. I'm not revealing that on the podcast, but they send you a random one of their mystery boxes, and they range from $100 to $800, or actually no, $1,000 for these. And
it's monthly, right?
It's monthly. Right. It can include any of the mystery boxes, but I'm honestly just expecting it to be just the basic, the smallest mystery box, which is just a PSA graded card.
Yeah.
From any of the sets. But yeah, no, we wanted to open this. Or I wanted to open this up and kind of do it on camera and just kind of see where we're going. So I don't know what they've given me. I don't know what we're getting. We're doing this all live. Well, live, I guess.
I don't know.
Pre-recorded to be shown in a few days. But yeah, so we're going to open it up and we'll show it out to you. All right. Looks like I was right. All right. So this is the Iconic Mystery Box Hollows All Day. Let's see. We can go ahead and kind of show that to the camera. I don't really know how clear that's going to be. Inside's a graded hollow card by PSA BGS CGC, dated from 1996 to 2010. Minimum grade of 7, randomly inserted population 1 BGS 10s. Okay. And this really could be anything. Really could be anything. So let's go ahead. Let's open it up. All right. So first you got to slice it. This is the same mystery box that I got my first edition Jungle Booster Pack, a Shining Legends pack, a base set Shadowless Squirtle, PSA 8.
Wait, so you got the Jungle pack from this?
Not from this Hollows All Day, but the mystery box company just in general.
Yeah.
And so let's see what we got. Okay, so it's PSA. Dang, not a BGS.
You want it?
All right. Well, the centering is pretty bad. It's very top heavy.
Yep.
Wait, is it on this side?
Yes.
Okay, so it's a 2005 Pokemon EX Crobat Holo from Delta Species. I'm gonna guess it's a 7 because the centering's pretty rough.
Probably 7 or 8.
I'm gonna guess a 7. And ready, and bam. So it is an 8. So we'll go ahead, just kind of pop that up there. Y'all can go ahead and kind of see that. Pretty fancy. I have no idea how this is gonna look on camera.
All right, now time to look up the price.
It is a holo Delta Species, pretty solid. 2005. Card number 2 of 113 in that set.
It looks like a sick card.
It is pretty sick. It's kind of hard to even see the Crobat. Like, it's just super dark.
Dude, that's nice.
I'm going to guess it's like a $15 card.
I'm going to guess... Wait, it won't let me... sugar. I'm going to just look it up on eBay. 2005 Crobat Holo PSA 8. We shall see. You're probably right, like a 25, 30. Does that look correct? $40.
Okay, not bad.
That's pretty cool.
$40 card. We can go ahead and we'll put it in our collection, or my collection, right there.
Dude.
All right, but yeah, no, I wanted to open that up. That was fun. It's always good.
It'll be featured in the pod every now and then.
And be sure to go check these out, guys. Again, Iconic Mystery Box. You can check them out on Instagram. I think they might have a YouTube channel, Twitter, Facebook. I think they have it all. IconicMysteryBox.com. If y'all are interested, go out there and check it out. I'm not affiliated with them, so I don't have like any links or promo codes, but
you're not getting the cash.
I'm not getting the cash, but be sure to, you can go ahead and try and get some cool stuff. You definitely can get some cool stuff from them though.
Oh, you know what I just realized about what we're doing?
Yeah, it took you too long to realize.
Oh my goodness.
Dude, it's a throwback to our Dr. Pepper days.
So for those that don't know,
I think this will be the last thing we talk about.
Yeah,
right?
We used to be not sponsored officially, but we used to be called the Dr. Pepper Podcast on Instagram. We've mentioned it, I think, once on this pod before.
I think so.
But we didn't really ever talk about it. But I'll keep it brief. But
and it's a very brief story. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the intro into us making the podcast. Is we wanted to we were thinking of a name, some funny sponsor we could have, and so we came up with Dr. Pepper Podcast, and so we would always drink Dr. Pepper.
And really, it was just because that first when we were at Nukes, I just always had Dr. Pepper, and so that would just be what we would drink.
And it was also a great chaser for the big part of the podcast, which was drinking.
I don't really think it was a great chaser.
Well, no, we used it as one.
We used it as but remember the original chaser though was
no.
What was it? It was white grape juice.
Yeah.
Or
taste is like burned into my brain.
Dude, it worked though.
It was good.
It worked. It helped us drink like
orange
a whole bottle.
Juice was one I think we did every now and then.
It was white grape, and then we would do like apple juice.
That's right. Yeah.
I never bought orange juice.
Right.
I'm not really an orange juice fan. I'll drink.
I did orange juice with Brian. I think
we probably did with Brian, but not with me.
But yeah, so bringing back the Dr. Pepper Podcast, like we said, we're not officially sponsored.
Yeah, but Dr. Pepper, if you see us, you should sponsor us.
Yeah, so maybe bring it back, Dr. Pepper Podcast.
Who knows? But I think that's gonna wrap us up for the night. You know, just a quick podcast. This is, I think, going to be the kind of the normal time frame for us now. Just keep them short and sweet. And just to the point. That way we are able to kind of do a little bit more with the video editing and make it a little more fun for everyone. Other than that, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for hanging out.
Appreciate it, guys.
Be sure to check us out on other platforms. And
peace. Boom. You mind if I get one more?
Oh yeah,
half cup?
Go for it.
Dr. Pepper, bro. Oh my god. I didn't even realize that at first.
I know.